Welcome to Gripping Tales. Are you ready for today's video? It starts now.
My name is Rachel. I'm 31 years old, and I've been a registered nurse for 8 years. I need to tell you what happened on my shift 3 months ago because I still can't explain it. The hospital administration says I had a mental break, that the stress got to me, that what I saw wasn't real. But I know what I saw. And I know that James Mallory died at 6:47 p.m. on October 3rd. I was there when it happened. I signed the death certificate, so I need someone to explain to me why he walked into the ER at 11:23 that same night asking for help. I work at St. Catherine's Hospital in rural Pennsylvania. It's small, only about 80 beds total, and we're the only medical facility for about 40 miles in any direction. Most nights in the ER are pretty standard. Car accidents, heart attacks, the occasional farm injury. October 3rd started out completely normal. I came in for my shift at 7 p.m. The day nurse, Amanda, gave me a report on the patients we had. Room 3 had a woman with pneumonia. Room 5 had a kid who'd broken his arm skateboarding. Room 8 had an elderly man with chest pain who was waiting for transport to a bigger hospital. And Room 1 had James Mallory. James was 56 years old, stage 4 lung cancer. He'd been admitted that morning with difficulty breathing. His family had made the decision that afternoon to transition to comfort care. No more treatment, just pain management until the end. Amanda told me he probably wouldn't make it through the night. She was right. At 6:47 p.m., about 20 minutes before I officially started my shift, James took his last breath. I was in the room. So was Dr. Reeves. We waited the appropriate amount of time, checked for a pulse, checked for respirations, listened for a heartbeat. Nothing. Dr. Reeves called time of death at 6:47 p.m. James's daughter was there. She'd been holding his hand when it happened. She cried quietly, kissed his forehead, and thanked us for taking care of him. We gave her some time alone with him, then I helped prepare the body for the morgue. I've done this probably 100 times. You close the eyes if they're open. You remove any medical equipment. You place identification tags. You cover them with a sheet. Then you wait for the morgue attendant to come collect them. The morgue attendant that night was a guy named Carl. He came up around 7:30, and we transferred James's body onto the gurney together. I watched Carl wheel him down the hallway toward the elevator that goes to the basement where the morgue is. That was the last time I expected to see James Mallory. The rest of my shift was pretty uneventful. The woman with pneumonia stabilized. The kid with the broken arm went home. The elderly man with chest pain got transferred to a cardiac unit in Pittsburgh. By 10 p.m., the ER was almost empty. Just me, Dr. Reeves, and one patient in observation who was sleeping. Reeves went to his office to catch up on charting. I sat at the nurse's station doing my own documentation, occasionally checking on our one remaining patient. The hospital gets eerily quiet at night. The fluorescent lights hum. The old building settles and creaks. Sometimes you hear the elevator ding even though no one's using it. Sometimes doors click shut on their own from air pressure changes. You get used to it. Or at least, I thought I had. Around 11 o'clock, I was finishing up some paperwork when I heard the automatic doors to the ER entrance slide open. I looked up, expecting to see someone walking in. Late night emergency, probably, but nobody appeared. The doors stayed open for their programmed 10 seconds, then slid closed again. I stood up and walked to the waiting area. Empty. I looked outside through the glass doors. The parking lot was mostly dark except for a few security lights. No cars had pulled up. No one was out there. I figured it was probably a malfunction. The sensors get sensitive sometimes. I made a mental note to tell maintenance about it and went back to the desk. I just sat down when I heard footsteps in the hallway. Slow, shuffling footsteps. Coming from the direction of the patient rooms, I called out, "Hello? Do you need something?" No answer. But the footsteps continued. Getting closer. I stood up and walked around the desk to see who it was. Maybe our observation patient had woken up and was confused. That's when I saw him. Walking down the hallway toward me. James Mallory. My first thought was that I was seeing things. Exhaustion. Stress. My eyes playing tricks on me in the fluorescent lighting. But he kept walking toward me. Slowly, his hospital gown hanging loosely on his thin frame. His feet bare on the cold linoleum floor. I felt my stomach drop. "Mr. Mallory?" I said, and my voice came out as barely a whisper. He stopped walking about 15 feet away from me. He was looking at me, but his expression was wrong. Blank. Empty. His skin had that waxy pallor that bodies get after death. His lips were slightly blue. "I need help," he said. His voice was flat, emotionless, like he was reading from a script. I stood there frozen, my mind racing through possibilities. This wasn't possible. I'd watched him die. I'd checked for vital signs. I'd helped prepare his body. Carl had taken him to the morgue hours ago. "Mr. Mallory, you need to sit down," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Let me get the doctor." I backed away slowly, not taking my eyes off him. I reached behind me for the phone at the nurse's station and picked it up. I pressed the button for Dr. Reeves's office. He answered on the second ring. "Yeah? Dr. Reeves, you need to come to the nurse's station right now," I said, and I heard the tremor in my own voice. "What's wrong?" "Just, please come now." I hung up. James was still standing there, staring at me with those empty eyes. "I need help," he said again. Same flat tone, same emotionless delivery. What kind of help?" I asked, though I wasn't sure why I was engaging in conversation with what should have been a corpse. "I don't know where I am," he said. Dr. Reeves came around the corner at that moment. He stopped dead when he saw James standing there. "What the hell?" Dr. Reeves said. "That's James Mallory," I said quietly, "from room 1. He died at 6:47. Dr. Reeves looked at me like I'd lost my mind. "That's impossible." "I know." We both stared at James. He swayed slightly on his feet, like he was having trouble staying upright. Dr. Reeves approached him cautiously. "Sir, are you James Mallory?" "I need help," James said for the third time. Dr. Reeves looked back at me. "Get me a wheelchair. Let's get him into an exam room." I grabbed a wheelchair with shaking hands and brought it over. James didn't resist when we helped him sit down. His skin was cold to the touch, not just cool cold, like he'd been in a freezer. We wheeled him into room 1, the same room where he'd died earlier that evening. Dr. Reeves immediately started checking vitals. He put the pulse ox on James's finger. It didn't register. He tried his other hand. Still nothing. He pulled out his stethoscope and listened to James's chest. His face went pale. "What?" I asked. "There's no heartbeat," Dr. Reeves said quietly. "And he's not breathing." We both looked at James. He was sitting upright in the wheelchair, staring straight ahead. "That's impossible," I said. "He's sitting here, he's talking. He has to have a heartbeat." Dr. Reeves checked again. Moved the stethoscope to different locations on James's chest. Checked the carotid artery in his neck. "There's nothing," he said. "No pulse, no respirations, no heart sounds." "Then how is he?" "I don't know." We stood there in stunned silence. James continued to sit motionless, his chest not rising or falling, his eyes staring at nothing. "I'm calling the morgue," Dr. Reeves said suddenly. "I need to confirm that. I need to confirm something." He left the room. I stayed with James, keeping a safe distance, my heart hammering in my chest. "Mr. Mallory," I said softly, "do you know where you are?" No response. "Do you remember what happened earlier today?" His head turned slowly toward me. The movement was mechanical, wrong. "I need help," he said. "I know. We're trying to help you. Can you tell me what's wrong?" "I don't know where I am." "You're at St. Catherine's Hospital. You were here earlier. Do you remember that?" His expression didn't change. "I don't know where I am." It was like talking to a recording. The same responses. The same flat delivery. Dr. Reeves came back into the room, his face ashen. "I just spoke to Carl. He confirmed that he took James Mallory's body to the morgue at 7:30. He logged it. The body is still there." I felt my blood run cold. "What do you mean the body is still there?" "Carl went to check. James Mallory's body is in the morgue right now, in drawer 3. We both looked at the man sitting in the wheelchair. "Then who the hell is this?" I whispered. Dr. Reeves made a decision. "We're going down there. We need to see for ourselves." What about him? I asked, gesturing to James. Bring him. We need to... I don't know what we need, but we're not leaving him alone up here. We wheeled James to the elevator. He didn't protest, didn't speak, just sat there with that blank stare. The elevator ride to the basement felt like it took forever. The fluorescent lights flickered. The walls seemed to close in. James sat motionless in the wheelchair between us. The morgue is in the basement, at the end of a long hallway. The temperature drops noticeably as you get closer. It's always cold down there, even in summer. Carl was waiting for us outside the morgue entrance. He looked confused and frightened. I don't understand what's happening, he said. I put him in drawer 3. I logged it. I saw the body. Show us, Dr. Reeves said. Carl unlocked the morgue door and we followed him inside. The room is small, maybe 20 by 20 feet, with a wall of refrigerated drawers. There are 12 drawers total. Most of them are empty. Carl walked to drawer 3. He hesitated, his hand on the handle. It's going to be him, Carl said. I'm telling you. I put James Mallory in this drawer. He pulled it open. The drawer slid out with a metallic scraping sound. Inside, covered with a white sheet, was a body. Carl pulled back the sheet. It was James Mallory. Same face. Same thin frame. Same hospital gown. The identification tag on his wrist matched. I looked back at the James, sitting in the wheelchair behind us. They were identical. This isn't possible, I said, though I'd been saying that a lot tonight, and it clearly didn't matter. Dr. Reeves approached the wheelchair James. Sir, I need you to show me your wrist. James raised his arm slowly. Dr. Reeves checked for an identification bracelet. There wasn't one. He doesn't have a patient ID, Dr. Reeves said. Because he's not a patient, I said. I don't know what he is. Carl was backing away toward the door. I'm not staying in here. This is wrong. This is really, really wrong. Carl, wait. Dr. Reeves started, but Carl was already gone, the morgue door slamming shut behind him. We heard his footsteps running down the hallway. Then the elevator ding, then silence. Dr. Reeves and I looked at each other, then at the body in the drawer, then at the James in the wheelchair. What do we do? I asked. I don't know. The James in the wheelchair spoke. I need help. We're trying to help you, Dr. Reeves said, though his voice was shaking now. But we need to understand what's happening. Who are you? James Mallory. But James Mallory is... Dr. Reeves gestured to the body in the drawer. I need help, wheelchair James repeated. Dr. Reeves lost his patience. With what? What do you need help with? Wheelchair James's head tilted to the side. The movement was too far, too angular, unnatural. I don't know where I am, he said, and then he stood up. When James stood up from the wheelchair, I instinctively backed away until I hit the wall of drawers. The cold metal pressed against my back. James took a step toward us, then another. His movements were jerky, like a puppet being manipulated by someone who didn't quite know how bodies were supposed to move. Mr. Mallory, please sit back down, Dr. Reeves said, trying to maintain some authority in his voice. James stopped. He looked at Dr. Reeves, then at me, then at the body in the open drawer. That's me, he said, pointing at the corpse. Yes, Dr. Reeves said carefully. That's your body. You died earlier tonight. I remember, James said, and for the first time, there was something in his voice. Not quite emotion, but something. I remember dying. I remember the pain stopping. I remember feeling light, like I was floating. Then what happened? I asked, though I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer. I tried to leave, to go, wherever you're supposed to go. But I couldn't. Something was pulling me back. Something in the hospital. What was pulling you back? Dr. Reeves asked, James's empty eyes fixed on me. Her? My blood ran cold. What? You touched me, James said. When you prepared my body, your hands were warm, living. And I felt connected, tied. I couldn't leave while that warmth was still on my skin. I thought back to earlier that evening. I'd helped prepare James's body for the morgue. It was routine. professional. I'd done it 100 times before. That's not possible, I said. That's not how any of this works. I didn't know where I was, James continued. I was lost. Confused. I needed help finding my way. So I came back. I came back to ask. Ask what? Dr. Reeves said. How do I leave? The question hung in the cold air of the morgue. Dr. Reeves and I looked at each other. We were nurses and doctors, trained in medicine and science. We weren't equipped for this. This was beyond anything we'd learned in school or experienced in practice. I don't know, I said honestly. I don't know how to help you with that. James took another step closer. You have to know. You were there when I died. You helped me transition. You must know what comes next. I only know the medical side, I said. After the heart stops, after the brain ceases activity, I don't know what happens to whatever you are. My soul? James asked. I guess. He was quiet for a moment. Then, it hurts. Being here. Being like this. I'm not supposed to be here anymore, but I can't find the way out. Dr. Reeves was the first to speak. Maybe it's not about us helping you leave. Maybe you need to let go. Let go of what? James asked. Whatever's keeping you here. Fear. Regret. Unfinished business. James shook his head slowly. I said goodbye to my daughter. I made peace with dying. I'm not afraid. Then why are you still here? I asked. Because you touched me, he said again, looking directly at me. Your warmth. Your life. It's like an anchor. I'm tied to it. I felt sick. I was just doing my job. I didn't mean to. I know, James interrupted. But intention doesn't matter. The connection exists. Then how do we break it? Dr. Reeves asked. James's expression shifted. If a corpse could look sad, he did. I don't think you can. Not while you're alive. The implication of that statement settled over us like a shroud. No, Dr. Reeves said firmly. Absolutely not. There has to be another way. But even as he said it, I wasn't sure there was. James moved toward the drawer where his body lay. He looked down at his own corpse with something that might have been longing. I just want to rest, he said quietly. I'm so tired. I thought about what he'd said. About being tied to my warmth, my life. About being unable to leave while that connection existed. An idea formed. Probably a crazy idea, but we were past the point of rational thinking. What if I touch you again? I asked. But this time, I let you go. Intentionally. What if I release you? Rachel, we don't know what that might. Dr. Reeves started. We don't know anything, I interrupted. But we have to try something. We can't leave him like this. James turned to face me. You would do that? If it helps you move on, yes. I approached him slowly. Up close, I could see that his skin wasn't quite right. It had a translucent quality, like I could almost see through it, like he was fading. Tell me what to do, I said. Touch my hand, James said, and think about letting go, about severing the connection, about releasing me. I reached out. My hand was shaking. The moment my fingers touched his, I felt it, a pull, like a current of electricity, but cold instead of hot. It flowed from me into him, and I understood what he meant about being an anchor. I could feel my life force, my warmth, being drawn toward him like he was a black hole. I closed my eyes and thought about letting go. About cutting the cord, about releasing him to wherever he was supposed to be. Let go, I whispered. You're free. You can go now. The cold sensation intensified. My arm went numb. Then my shoulder. It spread through my chest like ice water in my veins. Rachel! Dr. Reeves shouted. He grabbed my other arm and pulled me backward. The connection broke. I stumbled, and Dr. Reeves caught me. My whole body was shaking, cold from the inside out. When I looked up, James was gone. Not just gone from where he'd been standing. Gone completely, like he'd never been there at all. The wheelchair sat empty. The drawer with his body was still open. The corpse still there, still real. But the James who'd been walking and talking and asking for help had vanished. Dr. Reeves and I stood in the morgue for a long time, neither of us speaking. Finally, he closed the drawer containing James's body. The metallic sound echoed in the silence. "Did that really just happen?" I asked. "I don't know," Dr. Reeves said. "I don't know what happened." We went back upstairs. The ER was still empty. The clock showed 12:47 a.m. Less than 2 hours had passed since James had walked in, though it felt like a lifetime. I sat down at the nurse's station and put my head in my hands. "Are we going to report this?" I asked. Dr. Reeves was quiet for a long moment. "Report what, exactly? That a patient who died came back as a ghost? That we performed some kind of spiritual release ritual in the morgue? They'll think we've lost our minds." "Maybe we have." "Maybe," he agreed. "Or maybe there are things about death that medicine doesn't understand. Things that can't be explained by science." I thought about James, about his confusion, his pain, his desperate need for help finding his way. "I hope he made it," I said quietly. "Wherever he was supposed to go, I hope he's at peace now." "Me too." The rest of my shift was uneventful. No more dead patients walking in asking for help. No more impossible encounters in the morgue. At 7 a.m., I gave a report to the day shift nurse and went home. I didn't mention what had happened. What could I possibly say? I thought about calling in sick for my next shift. Thought about quitting altogether. But I didn't. I came back 3 nights later, and the night after that, and the night after that. Because I'm a nurse. It's what I do. But something changed after that night. I started noticing things I'd never paid attention to before. The way the elevator would ding on the morgue floor when no one had called it. The way certain rooms felt colder than others, even though the thermostat was the same. The way shadows seemed to move in my peripheral vision. And sometimes, late at night when the ER is quiet, I hear footsteps in the hallway. Slow, shuffling footsteps. I don't look anymore. I've learned it's better not to, because I've realized something in the 3 months since James Mallory walked into my ER after he'd been dead for hours. He wasn't the first. And he won't be the last. It happened again 2 weeks after the James incident. Her name was Patricia Owens, 72 years old. Stroke. We'd called time of death at 9:15 p.m. Her body had been taken to the morgue by 10 o'clock. At 1:30 a.m., I heard the automatic doors open. I didn't want to look. I sat at the nurse's station, staring at my computer screen, telling myself it was just a malfunction, just the sensors acting up again. But then I heard the footsteps, and a voice, weak and confused. "Excuse me? I need help. I don't know where I am." I looked up. Patricia Owens was standing in the ER entrance, wearing her hospital gown, her feet bare, her eyes empty. Dr. Reeves wasn't on duty that night. It was Dr. Patel, who knew nothing about what had happened with James. "Dr. Patel," I called out, trying to keep my voice steady. "We have a situation." He came out of his office, saw Patricia, frowned. "Ma'am, are you a patient here? Let's get you checked in." "She's not a patient," I said quietly. "Not anymore. She died 4 hours ago." Dr. Patel looked at me like I was insane. "What are you talking about?" Patricia Owens. Stroke. Time of death 9:15 p.m. Her body is in the morgue right now. "That's impossible." "I know," I said, "but it's true." And then I did what I'd done with James. I approached her carefully. I asked her to take my hand. I told her she was free to go. The same cold sensation, the same pulling, the same moment of release, and then she was gone. Dr. Patel stood there speechless. I didn't try to explain, I just went back to my charting. After that night, he never asked me about it, and I never volunteered information. But I see it in his eyes sometimes when we pass in the hallway. He knows. He saw. And he can't explain it any more than I can. It's been 3 months now. It's happened 6 more times. Always at night. Always patients who died during my shift. Always lost and confused. Looking for help finding their way. I've developed a routine. I don't panic anymore. I don't question it. I just help them leave. Touch their hand. Think about release. Let them go. Sometimes I wonder why it's happening to me specifically, why I'm the one they come back to. I think it's because I'm the last one who touches them with kindness, with warmth, with human connection. In their final moments of transition, I'm the anchor between life and death. And some of them can't cross that threshold without help, without someone to tell them it's okay to let go. So that's what I do now. I'm a nurse for the living. And apparently, I'm also a guide for the dead. Last week, something different happened. A man came into the ER at 2 a.m. He wasn't dead. He was very much alive. Heart attack. We stabilized him, got him to the ICU, but as they were wheeling him out, he grabbed my hand.
"You're her," he said.
"I'm your nurse, yes." "No," he said. "You're the one who helps them cross over. I saw you in my dream." Or maybe it wasn't a dream. My blood ran cold. "I don't know what you mean." "Yes, you do," he said. His grip tightened. "I almost died 3 years ago. Different hospital. I flatlined for 2 minutes, and I was lost. Confused. I didn't know where to go. But there was a woman. A nurse. She took my hand and showed me the way back. Back to my body. Back to life." "That wasn't me," I said. "I know. But you're like her. You're a guide. A bridge. Be careful with that gift, because not everything that comes back is looking for the light." He let go of my hand and they wheeled him away. I haven't been able to stop thinking about what he said. Not everything that comes back is looking for the light. Tonight is my night shift. It's 11 p.m. The ER is quiet. We have 2 patients. Both stable. Both alive, but I heard the automatic doors open 20 minutes ago. And I heard footsteps in the hallway. Slow, shuffling footsteps. I haven't looked yet. I'm sitting at the nurses' station, writing this all down, trying to work up the courage to see who or what has come in, because this time, it feels different. The temperature in the ER has dropped noticeably. The lights are flickering. And the footsteps aren't moving toward me. They're circling, pacing. Like whatever is out there is deciding what to do. I checked the morgue log earlier. No one died today. No bodies were brought in, which means whatever is in my ER right now didn't die here. And I don't know what they want. The footsteps have stopped now. I can hear breathing, heavy, labored breathing. But when I glance at the security camera feed, the hallway is empty. I think the man in the ICU was right. Not everything that comes back is looking for the light. And I think something else has learned, that I'm here. That I'm the bridge between worlds. The lights just went out. I can see a figure standing at the end of the hallway now. Tall. Solid. Not translucent like the others. It's walking toward me. I don't think this one needs help crossing over. I think this one wants to cross back. And I think it wants to use me as the doorway. I need to go. I need to run, but my legs won't move. It's getting closer. I can see its face now in the dim emergency lighting. It's not anyone I recognize. Not anyone who died in this hospital. It's smiling. And it's reaching out its hand. I don't think I should touch it. I really don't think I should.
Thanks for watching. Every ending hides the beginning of another tale, and ours is already on its way. Stay tuned. You'll find the next chapter right here, and soon.